Welcome to GT and Friends.
Welcome, friends, to GT and Friends with your hosts, Justine Timber River and Cupcakeo Frostino.
On today's show, we will be discussing the topic of GMOs. Say, Justine, do you know what a GMO is?
What on earth is a GMO?
I'll take that as a no, but luckily for you, we are bringing in 3 scientists today who will explain all the details.
Do you have any information on GMOs?
Well, I know that GMO stands for genetically modified organisms, and that's it.
Before we have our scientists come out, let's go outside and see what Bob Bobson is up to with the weather report.
I'm Bob Bobson reporting the weather. It is extremely cold outside with very terrible weather. It is negative 500 degrees, very frozen outside, and you could probably die if you go outside. Please bundle up in a t-shirt and shorts. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Bob Bobson, for that weather report.
I think it's just about time to check on Jake Jackson, interviewing our first scientist, Dr. Zuri Migzuzu.
I believe you are correct, Justine. Let's check on him now.
Hello, I'm Jake Jackson from the TV show GT and Friends. I'd like to ask you a few questions about GMOs.
Okay.
First question is obviously, what are GMOs?
GMOs are genetically modified organisms. We take cells from one organism and replace them to something else to improve its quality.
What proof do you have that GMOs are in fact safe?
A couple of years ago, we did a peer-reviewed study, and we had 42 publications. We introduced GMO crops to livestock, including cattle, pigs, and poultry. Some of them, the smaller number of the publications, were with rats, mice, and fish. 36 studies found no significant effect with the GMOs, and 4 of the studies reported a positive effect, and the other 2 studies were never completed.
Can you give me an example of how GMOs have helped people?
GMOs have helped many people across the world by providing them with the vitamins and minerals that they're missing in those foods. One of the major examples was the golden rice example. Vitamin A deficiency has killed 8 million people in the last 2 years without vitamin A. It has caused 250,000 to 500,000 people to go blind, and many other negative effects. They decided that they were going to add vitamin A to the golden rice in about 1998. The account failed due to the fact you'd have to eat about 400 bowls of rice to actually get the amount of vitamin A you needed. It was an improvement, but it wasn't good enough. So in 2003, they replaced the cell with a stronger cell, and they've actually seen a major improvement. The amount of blindness has went from 250,000 to 500,000, that's what it was, to now it's less than 100,000. And there's less than 1 million people dying now, so you're saving people's eyes and their lives.
Wow. I think that will just about wrap up the interview. Thank you. And now a word from our one and only sponsor.
Are you always feeling tired?
Yeah,
Can you not accomplish simple tasks?
I guess so.
Are you lazier than usual? I guess that's a yes. Drink the drink. Okay. I feel great! Made completely out of genetically modified batteries.
Yes, I've never felt this good before in my life.
Totally energizing.
It's so good. I need to stop.
It's like you can't stop moving.
Side effects include nausea, vomiting, headaches, earaches, ear loss, seizures, black spots on teeth, sleep insomnia, loss of heart, brain, and kidneys, spontaneous bleeding, purple skin, random cloning, growth of extra limbs, inappropriate humor, robotic noises, random laughter, mustache growth on fingers, loss of voice box, loss of teeth and hair, liquidization of bones, amnesia, complete insanity, extreme wrinkles, electric shock, and death.
Please drink responsibly.
Your grandmother just died.
Hilarious! Rolling on the floor. That's a big slapper.
Welcome back to GT and Friends. Hello, I'm Jake Jackson from the TV show GT and Friends, and I'd like to ask you a few questions about GMOs.
Go ahead.
First off, what are GMOs?
GMOs are genetically modified organisms, and it's when they take bacteria from other cells and other species and inject them into products such as corn, soy, canola, and sugar beets.
Very interesting. What are some of the health problems caused by GMOs?
Some of the health problems in brief are cancer tumors, it kills red blood cells, infertility, leukemia, birth defects, stomach issues, and reproductive organ damage. There has been a study by Dr. Judy Carmen where she fed some pigs a diet of GMO corn and soy, and it showed a 267% increase in females in stomach inflammation and a 400% increase in males for the stomach inflammation. Now what's kind of interesting is most autistic children are males and almost all have stomach inflammation. Another study conducted by the Department of Genetics and Morphology at the University of Brasilia has found when they fed rats GMOs, they have found blood problems after only one meal. They also found damage to bone marrow cells and red blood cells deaths. The rats developed leukemia and horrible bumps all over their body. They have also tested rat, mouse, sheep, and horse to find that.
Thank you very much. That should pretty much be all.
Due to Jake Jackson's mishap, I, Jessa Johnson, will be interviewing Dr. Bumbledorf.
I'm Jessa Johnson, and I'm here with Dr. Bumbledorf.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bumbledorf, and I am a children's doctor. One day, this person came up to me and said, I think my child's sick because of GMOs. I didn't know what they were, so I researched them, and the more I knew, I realized that all the research and everything, all the people that come in, are normally causes from GMOs.
Due to those studies, Dr. Bumbledorf, what do you know about GMOs? What are GMOs?
GMOs are basically when you take DNA from one species, plant or animal, and inject it into another plant or another species, and that changes all the characteristics of it, and it merges DNA.
What crops are the main crops that they do this to?
Corn, soy, canola, sugar beets, and more.
So GMOs, do they have more yield, less yield, or how does that work?
Well, Monsanto is the biggest GMO seed company. They say that it provides more yield, and that means more plants for you people that don't know. It means a lot more plants in the exact same amount of land, but the truth is it actually provides less yield according to a lot of studies.
How do they get more yield out of something that doesn't provide more yield?
Well, they lie and say it provides more yield. It doesn't actually provide that. They just use that for their commercial and to convince people to buy it.
Okay. So pretty much what you're saying is GMOs aren't safe. Is that correct?
Yes.
And why is that? What are the main reasons GMOs aren't safe?
Well, GMOs aren't safe because they actually help produce cancer, diabetes, autism, allergies, asthma, obesity, tumors, and infertility. And that's basically why.
That makes sense too. I've heard there was a study about bees, about massive bee deaths due to GMOs. Do you know anything about that?
Yes, hold on one second. Okay. The massive bee deaths are due to GMOs is because when a flower becomes modified, the bees go they take it and then they die because due to the lack of nutrients, because they don't add nutrients to the flowers, and GMOs just take it away.
Makes a lot of sense. Do you have anything more about GMOs that you'd like to add?
Well, I would like to add that I hope the U.S. helps and tries to get rid of labeling. I mean, not get rid of.
Labeling prevention laws?
Yeah. So, because GMOs are banned in 27 countries and now labeled in 61. And 50 countries, including France, Germany, and Italy, have banned or restricted GMOs, while the U.S. doesn't even require labeling.
Wow, Cupcake Girl, that was a lot of information on GMOs.
Yes, it was. And I heard the heart of the issue was consumer advocacy for clear food labeling.
Yes. Let's go back to Jake Jackson to see if the scientists have any other information about the issue.
And now our three doctors will debate over GMO food labeling.
Dr. McZuzu, if GMOs are so safe and they're so great, then why wouldn't Monsanto be proud to label them? I mean, other companies out there, let's say, who have organic products, you can totally see the organic label, and wouldn't GMO companies like Monsanto be proud?
Thank you, Dr. Fresh, for that information. But here's the question for you. Would you consume something or eat something if everyone around you was telling you it was wrong to eat or unhealthy, even though there are studies proving it's safe? It's the fear. It's when customers are looking at something with the fear of what is in it, due to the facts, like your side telling us that this GMO is unhealthy, whereas there are many studies proving that it's completely safe. We don't want people looking at your studies and going, oh, we shouldn't buy that because it's unhealthy, whereas there are many studies proving that it's safe.
I understand your point there, but if they were really proud, I think they should label them, even though you guys are scared not to label them.
It's not about being scared or being proud. It's about the facts. People aren't going to buy our items if people like you are out there telling us that it's not safe.
Don't consumers deserve the right to know what they're eating? You know, it's completely wrong that a consumer isn't allowed to know what they are eating. They should be able to make the choice themselves whether they want to eat GMO or not. And if they want to look it up, then fine. And if they don't, then they can keep eating your product. But I think we deserve the right to know.
Well, you obviously know Monsanto has GMOs. You
not.
obviously know that. But the thing is, the United States doesn't have the food labeling laws saying we have to, so we're making the profit and keeping people safe by using the laws to our advantage.
By the way, you know the laws actually probably would be labeling on GMOs if your company didn't pay millions of dollars each year to the U.S. government so they don't label GMOs. Why is that?
Dr. Bombadorf, no comment on that. But within the United States, the government has established clear food labeling laws. You can go look at any website that has the United States laws on food labeling and find that you do not have to label GMOs.
I know that. And I was saying that your company pays millions of dollars each year so that they don't make a law against it, not so they take away the law. There never was a law.
There is nowhere on that no one has said from Monsanto that they do that, and no one has written that on any of our websites for that. So that is an unclear message you're saying.
It was on the U.S. government website.
That says if Monsanto did that, Monsanto would say that.
Why would Monsanto say that? Because it's just making themselves look bad. I mean, yes, people are going to be scared, but that's not what we're thinking about in the big picture here. I mean, when you see organic, are you scared? When you see GMO, if it has like a nice green label, you're not going to think you're scared. And most people probably won't bother to look it up, but I think people, like consumers, deserve to know, for the consumers that do want to know. Because when you walk in a store and you see corn, you don't know if it's GMO or not. And we deserve to know that.
Okay, so the facts here are saying that you guys deserve to know what's going on. You deserve to know why we do this, why we do that. Well, here's why. We don't label because we want people to buy our products. Our products are perfectly healthy, and we've done many peer-reviewed studies on that.
Wait. No. There's a lot of studies that prove that they are bad for you.
And there's a lot of studies that prove they are perfectly safe for you.
The studies that prove they're perfectly safe for you are the studies that you guys, Monsanto, pays them, or
That
they
is
rely on
That is not
Monsanto
true
for it.
due to the facts.
What
that
if
we
you were
have.
lying?
If a peer-reviewed study is not paid for by that company, a peer-reviewed study is done by different schools and scientists wanting to find out the information.
Now you have to think about it. I can understand that you're saying all of the good studies, but you're never going to mention those bad studies because you're trying to get money for your product. But as I've said before, as a consumer, I want to know what I'm
The
eating.
same thing goes to you guys. You guys are saying all of the studies that say it's bad, but haven't mentioned any of the peer-reviewed studies that are perfectly okay.
Okay, let me
Because
mention
those studies are promoted by Monsanto, and that's what they're doing. They're selling GMOs. They want your money. They don't care that they're giving poison.
A peer-reviewed study is not paid for by that company.
You guys,
I could say that the organic companies are paying for their peer-reviewed studies also.
Well, this section of the debate certainly has been informative, but it turns out at this point in time, it is up to the consumers to find out whether their food is GMO or not.
Thanks for watching G Team Friends. Join us next time.